Wendy O from Divine Spark Yoga. I wanted to put together a short sequence for Yoga for Pregnancy because I've had some friends and clients lately asking me, what can I do that's safe, that I know is going to be safe, where they're not worried if they're hurting themselves or the baby. And so this is a super simple sequence that you can do really at any time during the day and at any point in your pregnancy. As you move through, just let your breath be your guide and enjoy the practice. Taking a few rounds of full cycles of breath, inhaling and exhaling. And again, inhaling and exhaling. And then bringing both hands right over the heart space as you gently bow your head, setting a conscious intention for your practice. And once you have that for yourself, gently lift your head, release your arms. Reaching up, breathing in, and exhale this time, pulling the hands through to the heart center. Bringing the hands to the front of the knees. On an inhale, lift your heart, widen your collarbones. As you exhale, widen the upper mid-back, the scapula gently dropping the head. And again, inhale, opening the chest, and exhale, drawing the upper mid-back back as the belly lifts. And I'll show you the side view here. So the same thing. Inhale, gently lift your heart, keeping the neck neutral, gazing up just a bit. Exhale, rounding, feeling the gentle lift of the belly. And inhale, full breath into the heart space. And exhale, releasing back. One more time, inhale, lifting the heart, dropping those shoulders. And exhale, also keeping the shoulders soft here, they like to rise up. Coming back to neutral, keeping the breath steady. And bringing the fingertips to the floor beside you, spider fingers as you reach actively down. Feel the spine elongate. Inhale, lift your right arm up. Exhale, sliding your left hand outward, perhaps gazing up, dropping the shoulders. If that doesn't feel good on the neck to gaze up, you can gaze out or down. Staying anchored down through that right hip as you continue to soften the shoulders away from the ears. Full breaths into the ribs, especially the right front ribs, and on an exhale, rising back up. Resetting for second side. Inhale, lift your left arm up. Exhale, sliding the right palm out right in line with your hip. Be sure that right elbow is dropping down towards the floor, so there's a slight bend in the bottom elbow. Staying anchored down through the left hip. Breathing. And on an exhale, anchoring down to rise up and release. Taking a gentle twist. Taking the left hand in front of you as you draw your right hand behind. Starting to turn to the right from the ribs and above, staying anchored down through the hips. Using that front arm as leverage. If you want to take the twist higher into the cervical spine, the gaze can turn forward. And if you have the flexibility and space, you can wrap that back arm behind you, the hand behind you, and start to draw the front arm across, as you can see I've done here. On the exhale, turn your head back to the right and release back to center. Let's switch the cross of the legs. And resetting for our twist on the second side. This time the right hand comes in front, the left hand comes behind. Spider fingers on both hands if you can. What you can't see on the back side is that the back elbow should be slightly bent so that that shoulder can drop. Staying tall in your spine, expansive in the upper mid-back, as the front ribs just gently absorb towards the spine. Maybe you're going to take that back arm and wrap it all the way around. Maybe, if you have the space, you're going to take the front arm across, and perhaps even the gaze across the front, widening through the collarbones, dropping the shoulders, breathing. And on an exhale, turning the head back and gently unwind back to center. So from here, just to neutralize, a shoulder roll, forward, up, back, and down, and alternating sides. Shoulder moves forward, up, back, and down, and we'll do that again. Breathing all the while. And final one here. Slide your right knee to point straight ahead. This is the leg on bottom, stacking the left leg on top. You might want to flex your feet here to protect your knees, and just rocking from side to side to anchor down through the sit bones equally. Inhale, reach the arms out to the sides, softening through the shoulders. Exhale, taking the left arm underneath as you give yourself a big hug. Deepening the cross of the elbows, softening the shoulders, widening the collarbones. Taking a breath or two. And perhaps floating the forearms towards one another, taking that left hand towards your face and around to the right palm. Lifting the elbows another inch, dropping the shoulders, and maybe a turn of the head from side to side, super gentle here. Breathing into the middle back, full breaths. Take an inhale, and on your next exhale, start to release as you widen the arms back out to the sides, keeping the shoulders soft. And then floating the arms down. To neutralize, just a shoulder roll, forward, up, back, and down. And alternating as you continue to breathe. And then sliding to second side here. So this time the left knee is on bottom, the right leg is on top. A rock from side to side to anchor down equally. Inhale, reach the arms out. Exhale, crossing the right arm underneath the left, give yourself a hug. Breathe into the scapula, into the wings on the back side of the body. Perhaps you'll stay here. Or if it feels comfortable, you can go a little bit further, floating the forearms up, starting to take the bind of the hands, turning the thumbs towards your face as you soften into the posture, keeping a tall spine. And just see how it feels on the neck to turn the head from side to side, keeping those neck muscles soft. And on an exhale, gently release, extending the arms out to the sides. Maybe a wiggle of the fingers here, and floating the arms down. And then bending the knees, bringing the feet parallel, wider than hip width distance. On an exhale, just start to let the legs fall over to your right like windshield wipers. Maybe flexing the feet here if you feel any kind of knee discomfort. And breathing here. And on an exhale, pressing down through the feet, bringing the knees back to center, pausing at center. And on your next exhale, floating to the other side. And so we let the legs be as heavy as feels comfortable, feeling the release through the hips. You might get a stretch on an inner thigh or even outer thigh area. And pressing down through your feet on an exhale to start to draw back to center. Begin to reposition to hands and knees, tabletop position. Spreading your fingers bright, Wrists directly under shoulders, knees hip-width distance, pressing down through the tops of the feet. On an inhale, round your upper mid-back up towards the sky, fully drop the head. On the exhale, pull your heart, sternum forward. And inhale, rounding the upper mid-back, pressing down through the tops of the feet. Exhale, pulling the heart forward, keeping the chin slightly in. And again, moving on the rhythm of your breath. Exhale, pull the heart through, shoulders back. And again, inhale, rounding the spine up. And exhale, pulling the heart forward. Draw your knees together and sit back on the heels. Bringing the spine upright. Inhale, lift your left arm up. Exhale, start to draw over to the right at a diagonal. So the right ribs are lifting towards the left spine area. And an inhale, you'll float your arm back up and release. Inhale, lift the right arm up. Exhale, drawing over at a diagonal to the left. So you can see here that my low back is not rounding. It's rounding from the middle body. Getting a stretch on the right side of the spine. And inhale, float the arm up. Exhale, release. So I'll show you front view on this and we'll add to it. Same positioning. Inhale, lift the left arm up. Exhale, drawing over to the right. On your next inhale, you're going to float the left arm back. Continue that same inhale, reaching up and back at a diagonal. The next exhale will bring you forward. And the inhale will draw you all the way back, reaching the right arm up. Continue, exhale forward. Inhale back, reaching. Exhale forward. And this time rising back to neutral. And inhale, the right arm lifts. Exhale, drawing over to the left at a diagonal. Inhale, reaching the right arm back as the left arm lifts. The back elbow may bend. Exhale, coming forward. So it's almost like a windmill effect here, or a half windmill. And this is your inhale. And exhale, shoulders stay soft. Inhale, reaching up and back. Exhale, drawing forward. Feel the ribs lift. And coming back to neutral. And start to come back into child's pose, big toes touching, knees just wide enough to accommodate the width of your torso and size of the belly. And letting the forehead just rest down onto the floor. You're going to bring your palms together, start to bend the elbows and walk the elbows forward in space. So this is a big stretch on the tricep area, armpit area, maybe even upper shoulder, arm area, depending. And just take a few breaths here, really working your breath into the upper mid-back on the inhale, and on the exhale, a melting of the front heart space. And then after a few breaths, you can gently release your hands, separate the palms flat to the floor. Begin to release, bringing your fingertips directly under your shoulders. Inhale, rising up. Take a moment here to fully reconnect to your breath, bringing one hand over your heart and one hand over the belly. Also an opportunity to imagine your child in the womb and the connection of your heartbeats as one.